What is going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I seriously appreciate you tuning in today. We're back here in my 1991 Mazda Miata. Oh, gotta pop the headlights. It is so nice out right now. I have to wait until about 7:30 every night to drive this car now because it's like 95 degrees during the day, and although the AC works, it just doesn't keep up with the soft top very well. So, oh, I'm blind. Absolutely blind. This is the time everyone is out. Look, we got people walking their dogs. It's the time everyone is out. Oh yes, we got the pop-ups, you guys. Check it out. Yeah, he gave us a, that's amazing. That's amazing. A guy gave us a salute. That's pretty awesome. I'm telling you, when you do the little pop-ups when people are walking by, they just love it. And it's like probably one of the best things about this car. But anyways, as you saw from the title of this video, the reason you clicked here is we're gonna be talking about 3 things that I think are super absolutely necessary to know about or to look for when you're going to look at one of these cars that you find online, whether it's Craigslist, OfferUp, eBay, doesn't really matter where you find it. These tips are gonna work for all of those places. Right, I think we're good. This thing is just so awesome. We just ripped up that hill like a sewing machine on wheels, okay? So number 1 on my list of things you absolutely need to look for when you're going to see a Miata or when you find one online is right when you get there, you want to check to see if there's any rust on the car at all, because these things are 30 years old. They make their way around, okay? Like people buy them and they drive them and then they move and they take them with them. I mean, you never know if the California car that you just found was actually a car from the East Coast. East Coast, there's a lot of rust and a lot of salt, a lot of humidity. So I would definitely look for any type of rust. Personally, in my experience, I've had most of the water collect inside of the side, like the sills of the car. Right when COVID hit in 2020, it rained for like 2 weeks straight, which was the craziest thing. But I did not put a tarp on this car because I didn't think it was that big of an issue. Sure enough, I was driving this thing and nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first, but I would hit the brakes and I could hear like seriously 10 gallons of water like slosh forward. The only place I could think it was inside this box right here, because obviously it's not in the door. So I would highly recommend checking underneath the car and looking for any type of rust that you can see, any visible rust. Obviously the bad rust is gonna be stuff you can like put your finger through and it just obviously rusts away. For the most part, it shouldn't be too bad. One thing specifically I noticed, I had a little bit more rust than I thought I was going to, but right underneath this carpet on this back table back here. So what happens is people will leave their car outside and the soft top will be absolutely destroyed and they don't cover it or anything. So you might find a car that looks okay and they changed the soft top recently, but 5 years ago it had no window and it just rained inside of it, and you know, there might be rust. So I did notice a little bit of rust underneath this carpet here, but I think it's pretty common just because I seriously think every single Miata that was made in the 90s ended up, the window ended up ripping through unless it was garaged its entire life. So that's number 1, is definitely look for any type of rust you can find. Also in the trunk as well, there can be rust in there. So just look around, use your keen eye to find any type of rust or soft or even like rippled areas in like under the paint can be rust as well. So number 2 on this list of things that you absolutely need to look for when you go and check out the car is you want to look for any weird bent metal or any metal that looked like it was hammered back into place. This can be accidents that have happened in the past that they tried to get fixed, or maybe they've been fixed themselves and it might not be up to spec. It might look okay, but you just never know what the bones of it look like what it looked like before they did that, like what was the reason they did that. It's kind of weird. Definitely now as these cars get older, and especially the ones with clean titles, no one is going to be like calling have an insurance claim on one of these, just because it would salvage the car. They would total it out instantly just because it's so old and it's probably not very valuable to the insurance company. So they'd give you like base minimum Kelley Blue Book value for a 30-year-old Miata, and most people just don't call insurance and they fix the bodywork themselves because it's just way easier to do that, have a clean title, and then be able to sell it for more later. So definitely be wary of that. It's kind common thing, unfortunately, especially as cars get older. It's kind of hard to look under a car if you don't have a lift or anything like that, so do your best to look inside or behind each wheel and check the suspension, see if anything looks hammered back into place or just out of the ordinary, or not OEM is what I should say. So definitely look for any type of body work that was done in the past. It always somehow ends up affecting the structural rigidity of the car, so just do a double check, look around the car, take your time with it, because you don't want a car that has either terrible rust or it's had terrible body work done and it's going to need to be refixed or replaced or any type of stuff like that. So I'm headed to Flame Broiler. I don't know if you guys are familiar. All right, so now it should be way easier to hear and way quieter, and that's basically just that's the Miata experience, you guys. Like, it's just loud. Like, it's just a loud car. Like, even with the windows up, you can probably hear it's not the quietest, but that's part of the Miata charm, you know? Like, you want that extra sound coming through the super thin glass windows, or the soft top is like, I mean, it's about as thin as my t-shirt I'm wearing right now. So anyways, the very last thing we're talking about, the very last one, you can do this at home, go online and go to Carfax and check the Carfax on the car. I mean, we're out. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to tell all of the damage and accidents that the car might have been in, because a lot of people don't report those after a while. But one thing you can do is check how many owners the car has, because depending on how many owners, you can kind of get a ballpark or an idea of like how long in between they may have owned it. If the thing has had 12 owners in 30 years, that's a little sketchy. People that own things for a long time tend to take care of them just because they don't want it to go bad. So like I said, my recommendation would be 4 owners max, or I mean, they're getting to be 30 years, so maybe 5, I mean 6 owners. Like, think about that. I would say like 5 or 6 owners max. After that, you start to think maybe people were just passing on issues, like they couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, so they passed it on. So to sum it all up, we have rust, body damage under the hood and in the trunk or in the doorways, stuff like that. And then the last one being how many owners has the car had, because you want something that someone cared about. You don't want something that was just passed from person to person. So obviously Miatas are definitely going to be in a little different bracket than your average old car from the 90s and the 80s. People are going to probably like these a little bit more and tend to take care of them, especially in the last 5-10 years. Anyways, I'm gonna hit Flame Broiler, you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you learned something from this video. Rust, body damage, and how many owners does the car have, because if the car has more than 5 or 6 owners, I would be a little worried. But you never know. If the car's in perfect condition, I don't know. There's always those anomalies out there. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Drop a subscribe if you haven't yet already. I make videos like this. I'm gonna try and hold myself to posting every Monday and Thursday. That's gonna be my goal for the next 6 months of this year. So once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.